Welcome to another episode of Politics Unfiltered. Before we begin this week, I got a simple ask, very small ask. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and even share this episode with someone who you believe needs to hear it. If you're listening to this podcast on any of the major podcast streaming platforms, make sure that you leave a review so that we go up in the rankings. We want to continue to bring these shows every Monday, brand new episodes to our listeners. So if you could, do that little favor for me. Now, let's get into it. As you know, when I started this podcast, I wanted to also create a space where we didn't just uplift the voices of those folks in prominent positions, but also give ordinary, everyday people an opportunity to add their voice to the conversation. Because far too often in politics, the pundits, the folks who are cynical, the politicians, the consultants, all these people get an opportunity to talk about how the normal, everyday citizen, the voter, is feeling. It's very rare that we actually have dialogue that shows us a glimpse of what people believe is happening in the political sphere or how the politics of today is impacting their life. I started this trend a couple of episodes ago, and I'm continuing it this week. While I was in South Carolina filming last week's episode with Crystal Spain, the chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party, if you haven't watched that episode, make sure you watch it because we had a really good conversation. But while I was there, I had an opportunity to sit down with four individuals from all different backgrounds, diverse makeup of people, right from Columbia, South Carolina. And we had a really great conversation about the current state of politics in America and what they believe should be happening or what they believe isn't happening. I'm Hendrell Remus, and this is Politics Unfiltered. Thank you all for joining us for a unfiltered conversation about the current political climate in our country. What we try to do on this podcast is just get an assessment from ordinary people about how politics is impacting their lives in this moment. So you be as unfiltered as you need to be and share as much as you like to share. I mean, we'll cover a lot of topics, as many as we can in this segment. Economy, the Epstein files, political bipartisanship or hyperpartisanship that we're seeing in the country. But before we get started, I'll give you all an opportunity to go around the table. Now, the first question I'll ask you is, what's your name and what's your source of income right now? We'll start right here.
Gordon Smith.
What's your source of income?
Right now, I'm currently out of work. Had a stroke and a major operation about a year ago, but I was employed by Westinghouse.
Okay.
My name's Aiden Dong, and I'm a student, so I don't really have a source of income right now. This summer, I've been working as an intern, but other than that, I don't have a source of income.
All right.
My name is Mark Curious Bird. My current source of income is consulting work, and so I mostly work on campaigns. So this is like the slow time as campaigns are picking back up.
Okay.
My name is Angel Heavenly, and my source of income right now is 2 part-time jobs as well as freelance work. And
So first question, reason I asked what was your source of income right now? What or how are you doing in the current economy? Aiden, we'll start with you.
So as a student, I feel like I'm kind of insulated from the current economy. Tuition and stuff did go up this year, but I was lucky and I did get a good scholarship package. So I'm doing okay. If I watch some like long-term savings accounts that it might be invested, they're not doing as well. I see the cost of groceries going up, but overall, I am a little insulated from the current economy.
Okay. What about you?
I would say I'm feeling the squeeze because like so much of what I do is based off of people being able to donate or afford to donate to help campaigns. And that causes me to get hired sooner. And because of the squeeze, I'm seeing people are donating less. People are less invested because they're saving their money because groceries are going up, the bills are going up. It's been higher than normal heat waves happening. So now your electric bill is going up because your air conditioning's on 24/7. So I'm seeing the beginnings of the squeeze. Like there are a lot of people right now who still have like their savings going, but I'm seeing those people starting to hit into those savings as well.
Yeah. Angel.
A very loaded question. I am surviving, but barely. And I know that I'm not alone in this. I'm working right now on multiple jobs. I'm trying to build my own business. I'm managing responsibilities that just never seem to let up. And it still feels like it's just one major or even minor thing happening that's going to make everything unravel. Like you're saying, the cost of living has just exploded. Everything is going up, and the wages are just not matching that. There's just really no support for the working class people and for disabled individuals to rely on. And it just hasn't kept close to keeping pace of what's happening in our world right now.
Okay. What about you, Gordon?
It's crazy. Going into the stores last year or so, just visibly seeing the prices go up like from week to week. It's crazy. It's bad, especially when you got people to take care of, people who depending on you. So yeah, it's pretty tough out there right now as far as the economy, prices, how you gonna feed your family, how you gonna clothe your family. So it's kind of stressful.
Do anybody at this table feel as if the current administration's economic policies are going to make your economic situation better or worse?
Yeah.
No?
If you want to fix the economy, stop catering to Wall Street and start investing in Main Street. Raise wages and have affordable housing, expand access to healthcare and mental health services. They need to fund public education and not defund things. Invest in community infrastructures, in the practice of giving tax breaks to billionaires while everyday ordinary people are drowning in their debt and anxiety.
Yeah.
So I will be the exception to the rule because of what I do. A lot more people are now interested in running for office. So like in that regard, I will get an economic benefit from like the consulting fees from helping that. But that's because everybody is so desperate in needing help. People are stepping up who normally wouldn't step up. So we have candidates running in red parts of South Carolina right now who are starting early, who have never had like opponents in those areas. And so that is kind of like a direct inverse, I guess, effect on me.
But nothing based on his tariffs
nothing based
or
on
any
his
of that.
tariffs.
Okay.
It's because everybody's upset and it's like, we're running for office now.
And has anybody felt the pinch of tariffs? Have you ordered anything or purchased anything lately that you've seen the cost kind of tick up on? Anybody? Everything?
I mean, you can see it in the everyday things that you buy. Everything's going up, and it's not like it just happened for no reason. It happened because of the tariffs. It happened because of all these changes. People are trying to compensate, so they're charging us more for our food and for our clothing and everything else. I mean, there's more people going out now to thrift stores, which, I mean, there's positive things that are happening, but we shouldn't have to choose that. If people want to go out and buy something from the store that they bought a year ago, and you can look at your past order receipts on, Instacart and other things, and you can see how much it's jumped.
Yeah. Aiden, folks that go to school with you, students who might be taking out student loans, who are not on scholarships, who are taking out student loans. Maybe you got some friends who are taking out student loans. Are they feeling, kind of nervous now about possibly graduating and not having these student loan forgiveness programs in place that were in place and that's been stripped by this administration?
Absolutely.
You hear any of that on campus?
I hear that all the time. And as I mentioned, costs have gone up this year, and I think that is in large part due to some of the actions that the administration has taken because of its threats to higher education. Universities are more worried about their federal funding. I've seen labs close. I've seen students lose internship opportunities, job opportunities, and the costs have risen because federal funding is being cut. So I think that it is directly impacting students. It is directly impacting costs of students.
Anybody proud of anything that's coming out of this administration right now? Anything? Not one thing? Nothing? Not one thing? Not one thing. What about this no tax on tips situation? Anybody happy to hear that?
Yeah.
What about no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime? I mean, all of it sounds good,
Is
but
it
then
real?
when
Is it going to be real?
well, it sounds good, but it's
Sounds
only
good, but
temporary. Yeah, it's
temporary and not
temporary.
like-
It's like almost like a distraction.
If you make like
Absolutely.
10,000, then it's like you're making 30,000 off your tips, and it's like it's not effective.
Let's switch gears for a moment, because we know that immigration plays right into the economic situation of the country as well. How are y'all feeling about the immigration policies and the ICE raids that are taking place across the country right now? Is it troubling? Is it scary? Has it impacted anybody who you know?
Yeah. I won't say any names, but my girlfriend's brother, his daughter went to school with somebody, and she came home crying because her friend had to go away.
Have been deported?
Yeah.
Or detained?
Yeah. Yeah. So just separating families and taking people away from what they're used to. I mean, that's really scary. And to have a young, I mean, like, she's in middle school.
Yeah.
So for her to feel that impact,
Yeah.
it's
impacting more.
troubling.
It's impacting more than just the people who they're detaining and deporting. It's impacting all the people who they interact with on a daily basis.
Exactly. This is not like her friends going to another school, we could bump into each other or something like that. She's like going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty tough.
What about you, Marquise?
Yeah, no. A lot of our like young dem groups, friends are like first, or our young dems themselves are like first generation, so they're worried about their family, they're worried about their friends, and they're seeing those things. So like we have had like groups of people just like going out here, hearing about the ICE raids, and then our people mobilizing to go out there to try to do something to help.
Okay, Aiden, on college campuses all across the country, I mean, they've become a hot button or somewhat of a battleground between presidential policies and common sense folks, or people who are resisting this administration. Are you seeing a lot on your campus or hearing a lot on your campus as it relates to immigration or resisting these immigration policies?
There's definitely a lot of anxiety around it. I wouldn't say there's a lot of open resistance. I go to Mississippi State University.
Yeah.
And a very conservative
Very
place.
conservative.
There are a number of liberal people at the university, but in general, it's a conservative environment, and so I think people are worried about any open opposition to these ICE raids. But I know people are nervous. I know people who have seen family and friends have to leave the country, have to self-deport or be deported. And it's definitely scary for a lot of people.
Let me take another take, and I want to give y'all an opportunity too. If you're hearing something that someone else is saying, you want to chime in on that topic, you can. But I want to take a different take for just a second. Let me ask everybody, and I don't care who goes first. What do you dislike the most about this current administration?
It's almost like it's fueled by racism.
Do you think it's fueled by racism? Why do you feel like that, Gordon?
It's like they're targeting certain groups. Like you got the immigration, it's Haitians. It just sometimes feels like people of color are being targeted. Now, I hate to feel that way, but that's just kind of the sense of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, what I dislike the most about this administration is they treat cruelty like it's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It's not just policy disagreements. It's a complete and total just disregard for human dignity, especially when it comes to marginalized people, whether it's the immigrants and the ICE raids that we're talking about being, hunted down and taken out of their homes and schools and other public areas to, just fear of living and being your authentic self, whether you're a trans person or disabled or just anything that doesn't fit what they believe is the status quo. This administration, to me, it thrives on division.
Yeah.
and scapegoating and fear.
And fear, for sure.
Yeah. No, I was going to agree with what Gordon was saying. I guess add on to it. I feel like they are really trying to take us back to Constitution times where the nobility existed and they wanted to keep power, and they were trying to recreate America as a totally different thing. This is no longer based on the Constitution or the values that we have from the Constitution. They were trying to rewrite the values of the American society and bring it back to the people with money and power are the only people that get to make decisions. They're the only people that get to have a voice, and everybody else is basically slave labor.
Almost like class warfare to a certain extent. Anything else we don't like about this administration?
I think it's seriously changed a lot of precedent around the presidency. I mean, we've seen a very rapid expansion of some executive powers, use of law, of military forces and executive powers on civilians. When they were deployed in L.A. And I think it's kind of redefining the presidency very quickly. So, like, we've seen a greater emphasis on your religion in the Oval Office and in the Department of Defense. There's prayer in the Pentagon, and I'm not opposed to religion. I'm religious, but there's a reason for separation of church and state.
Yeah. Let me go around. Let me ask you a question. Who'd you vote for in the last election?
Kamala.
That was a Kamala delegate.
If you could do it all over again, would it be the same vote?
Yes.
So is there anything, let's take a more bipartisan approach to something. Is there anything that Donald Trump could do to make you feel a little bit more hopeful about the political climate in office? Anything besides resign that he could do that would make you feel a little bit more hopeful?
I'll say resign.
Resign.
I don't think it's going to happen, but actually go to unifying principles or talking about all of us as actual people. And I don't see that coming out of him anytime soon.
You don't think he has that in him?
I'm a very it's also less religious. I think everybody has everything in them. He is choosing willfully not to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He does not give me hope.
No hope. No hope at all.
Gives me a reminder of how fragile our democracy really is.
Yeah. What about you, Aid? Anything he can do?
No,
not a single thing.
No.
What if he chooses? What if Kamala Harris was his VP? Would that make you? Wait, now that's just a lunch into the space of anything, because I'm trying to figure out, in the position that our nation is in and the climate that our nation is in, is it that we are resisting personalities or resisting policies more? If he took on the entire Democratic agenda and ran with it, it still wouldn't make anybody at this table say that here's the guy that I'm with. Because why? Because he's tainted himself so bad. I'm assuming.
So for me, if I truly thought he was actually taking on our values, then I could possibly do that. But most of what I'm seeing in politics now is no longer about policies. It's about resisting personalities. It is anything he has said that I was I possibly could have agreed with. Do I see Democrats getting on board with? Because it is just him.
So Democrats just lost an election. What do you have a candidate in mind who you would want to support in 2028? Anybody? Anyone has anybody ready to say I want to see this person run for president, or I'm more interested in learning more about this person? I'm leaning one way or another. Are we even ready to say that yet?
I don't have a favorite candidate yet. What I do have is a clear vision of what I want to see. I want to see someone who's unafraid to speak those hard truths, someone who will speak boldly to the people about economic justice, about racial equity, disability rights, climate action, and the very real threats to our democracy that we're having right now. I'm tired of lukewarm politicians who tiptoe around injustice. I want someone who brings both the fire and the facts, someone who understands that dignity and access and justice aren't negotiable.
I like that. I like that. Not selling for anything less.
Mm. I have people that I would like to see like run in 2028.
Like who?
Like as a Bernie person, I was like, I would love to see AOC.
You were a Bernie bro.
Huh?
You were a Bernie bro.
Yeah, I was DOT director for South
Oh, that's pretty
Carolina.
cool. Okay.
So I would love to see somebody like AOC run, because that's like my personal like.
Do you think she has a realistic chance?
And that is my second part, because I'm also like one of the most pragmatic people. Right now, none of the candidates that I'm seeing has a big enough unifying factor of the party. And that is what I need somebody that can unify the party. Like, I like AOC for this. I like Andy Brashear for this. I like Booker for this. But it's different pieces and not the whole pie that we need to actually win. And I haven't seen a candidate that I think has it all to unite us.
What about you, Aid?
I agree that there's not a clear candidate right now. There's not a unifying force, which is a problem we need to address. But I think my favorite, if it were to be tomorrow, would be Booker. I think I've seen him.
Senator Cory Booker.
Yeah. I've seen him, on the Senate floor. And it's hard in the minority in Congress to take a lot of decisive actions. But I've seen him. I've seen his frustration, and I've seen him, speak to the issues that I care about. And so I think he would be my favorite.
Okay.
Right now, I don't really have a favorite, but Cory Booker, I think.
That's kind of where you're leaning?
Kind of.
You'd like to see him tiptoe into it a little bit?
I see how he looked driving the car, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question. Under the Biden administration, there was supposedly this huge spike in inflation. Prices went up, and a lot of that was because of COVID-19 and the Trump tariffs during his first term and just trying to get the nation back balanced. What are you feeling like the prices have come down, or are you feeling like you're still paying, pretty high prices for stuff?
Seems like it's the same. Like the
Seems like
price
it's
is
the
still
same?
up there. Yeah.
It's going up.
Yeah.
Going up and stayed up?
Yep.
What about you, Angel?
I feel like they were starting to come down until this administration.
Why'd you think that happened? Why do you think they started to come down and then go back up?
Well, we were recovering after COVID-19, and during that time, things got less, I guess, costly because people weren't going out as much, people weren't spending as much, people were losing jobs, people were being laid off. So things kind of adjusted, I think, naturally. And it's like it started feeling like a relief. Like we went through this horrid thing where millions of people died. And that was like some kind of relief for us financially. And then next thing we know, boom, everything starts skyrocketing again. And the gas prices are going up, the food are going up, everything's going up. And it happened right after the election.
Yeah. Let me ask something. Is there a moment, and I asked this question the last time we sat down with a group, so because I'm always curious, is there a particular product or thing that you would usually buy or purchase that made you realize that inflation was here and it was a problem? Is there one thing that you could say, I went into the store to purchase this and the sticker shock was like, wow, there's really an inflation problem in the country?
Mm-hmm. Yep. There was one, I read an article, I think it was from The Sun, that was talking about an air fryer.
But for you, what was it for you? Was it the air fryer for you?
I was actually looking it up, and I so happened to Google something, and then I saw this article pop up on The Sun, and it was talking about in 33-day period, it went up 58%.
58% of 33 days. What about you, Marquez?
For me, I was just thinking, because I eat out a lot, so it's just like looking at the restaurant prices and seeing that progressively just go higher.
Value menu,
higher.
you don't feel like the value menu anymore.
Like I'm old, like I missed the $5 menu. Like that meal's like $20 now.
So, Gordon, you mentioned that you had some healthcare issues a year ago. Hope that you're recovering.
Yeah. Let
me ask you all about healthcare. How many people at the table have health insurance currently? How many people have government-sponsored health insurance, Medicaid, or anything to that extent? You have government-sponsored insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a program that helps for the free program.
Okay. Let me ask, with the changes coming with Medicare, you feel as if, Angel, you feel as if you're on the chopping block for losing your
Yes, that's
health
actually
insurance.
one of the reasons why I took a part-time job. I've decided, I did the math, if I took a second part-time job, I would no longer be receiving SSDI and I would no longer have Medicare as my coverage. But it's on chopping block.
What's SSDI? What's SSDI? For the folks who are listening out there,
Social
what's
Security Disability Insurance.
okay?
It's different than SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income.
Okay.
So SSDI is based off of my disability and work credits. And so I qualified for SSDI and I was working one part-time job and I have my Medicare insurance. But because of, again, things not changing when it comes to our income limits with SSDI, like you can only earn a certain amount. Once you go over, you're cut off. So it's living in the constant fear that if I were to work 1 hour over, or I get a commission that's a little bit too extra, I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
And because it's not keeping up with the pace, I had to just decide for myself, I'm going to go ahead and just give this up. I'm going to give this up and I'm going to go get a part-time job. And I'm going to force my body to do something that it really can't do, which is work a second job and working 40 plus hours, even though now I'm not going to have health benefits of my own. Thankfully, we have things like Prisma Health, which offers the financial assistance program.
Is that a local program here in South Carolina?
Yes.
What is that the program you work? Do you say you work for? Is that the program you say you work for or part of?
Or no, I said I'm on. Like
Okay,
the
you're
Prisma
on.
Health
Okay.
program is how I get, because like I have a seizure condition, and like multiple cells. Like my insulin back when buying stuff was like 1,500 every 2 weeks. Like
Wow.
That's high. That's high.
yeah. So
Well, this does have a program that does prescription.
So what does this program do specifically?
so basically for me, I get almost all of my medicine here for free or at a reduced price. And so that's actually affordable. And so like to Angel's point, it's like if I make too much money, I'm off that program.
Are they like grant or government funded, or do like private donors like supplement the cost for the program?
At least I think for like programs like the Well Vista, I think it's like a mix. I have to go back because it's been a while since I've looked into their finances.
Well, that too could be, especially if it's getting federal grants, that can be an interesting dynamic as well.
So I know for like the Prisma program, because of how some of the money was going, like medicine that I've got on Well Vista, because I got switched to that program, that was on that program got cut because they were changing the amount of money that was going to them.
You're on a government sponsored health insurance as well. Are you feeling of any fear about possibly losing healthcare coverage at all?
Oh, well, not personally me, but my children, they on Medicaid.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, it's troubling when you think about it. Like, are they going to get the services they need?
Yeah.
So, it keeps you up at night.
But I think that's a great perspective too, because so many people, and we've heard elected officials talk about, able-bodied people should be out there working, but there are millions of children in the country who are receiving Medicaid because their families fall into a lower income bracket.
Yeah.
And no one's really taking that into account. And I want to believe politicians when they say, well, we're not going to do anything. No kids are going to lose coverage. I want to believe that.
Yeah.
But we've heard so much that, wait 2 days and the tune changes on it. Do y'all think that everybody becomes a target and cuts to live up to what has essentially become, in my opinion, a supplement for the wealthiest folks in the country, wealth redistribution from the bottom up, not from the top down?
Yeah, it's very strange. If you're wealthy, if you're at a certain tax bracket, medical costs shouldn't be too hard on you. But, to take away from the people in the middle and the bottom, you're just like destroying the whole structure. A lot of us need that help to trickle down. It should be a reverse effect.
Let me ask you all, if you were in the Oval Office right now and you can make one decision, what would be the one policy decision you'd be making? Aiden, we'll start with you.
Not this is necessarily an executive decision, but I would my first priority would be livable minimum wage. So that last one was talked about was 15 an hour. I don't know if that quite is is what the cost of living is at right now. I'd have to look, but that would be my first priority.
Yeah. And to his point, this could be executive action or legislative action. What would be your top priority?
I still have to harp on the healthcare. It's like it doesn't make sense for us to be one of the richest nations in the world and people have to personally pay for their health care when there's other countries out here where the citizens don't pay.
Yeah.
It's offered to them. And I think that's very important because, I mean, you go in and get an operation, you save your life, but it's like, now I'm in debt.
For the rest of my life.
For the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that would be my thing. It's like to show up this healthcare thing because, you know, it's scary when, you know, you can't get the medicine and things that you need to just survive.
Justice. I understand. I totally agree. What about you?
I would also agree with that. I think it would be healthcare, free healthcare for everybody, but like also all-inclusive healthcare. So like dental and vision and mental, that is all healthcare. They shouldn't be separate things that we're buying different packages for. That should just all be taking care of you as a whole person, as all of you, mentally, physically, emotionally. All of that is one package for healthcare for me. So that would be the thing I would go for.
Angel, dream policy or legislation or action that you'd take. What would be the one thing you say we got to have this in this country right now today?
I would say for me, I would probably rewrite the entire foundation of how we care for people in this country. And
what do you mean by that? What do you mean care for people?
That means treating healthcare and housing and income as human rights, not luxuries. Because what's broken in this country for me isn't just one policy that's here or there. It's the belief that profit matters over people. And if I were in the Oval Office, I don't know, I would have to make sure that our people are taken care of and it be policies that are written around people, not around corporations.
Let me ask a controversial question. Who believes that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files?
Oh, definitely.
I do.
Yes.
Everybody believes he's in the Epstein files? Well, do you think they should release the files?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if there are Democrats in those files?
Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Like,
should be held accountable too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat or unaffiliated, we should all be able to agree that truth and justice shouldn't stop at the top. It shouldn't stop at whatever party you're affiliated with or what, title you have. It just starts crumbling because when people start believing that people with power and money can buy their way out of accountability, it sends a really bad message to the rest of the country as well as the world.
That's a true fact. What about this the world stage, world affairs, foreign affairs? Do you think Donald Trump's representing us well on the world stage?
I think he's decimated our global image in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Anybody who has social media and sees what the White House and the official accounts put out daily on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, really the seriousness of the role and, the seriousness of our nation, is just diminished. And I think that really means a lot in global negotiations and our global image.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm always, every day, I'm hoping that this president has a turnaround because at the end of the day, I love the country and I'm patriotic to America. I love America. Are you all, and I'm always proud to be an American. Do you all still feel proud to be an American?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it for the world. Let me ask. If Donald Trump decides that he's going to seek a third term or attempt to seek a third term in 2028, how would you feel about that? How would you all feel about that?
So I've been mentally prepared for this since because I did law school when he was coming into office, and like a lot of this stuff is stuff that we're talking about when we were in meetings of this possibility. So I'm kind of like mentally prepared for him to do that. Like I'm expecting him to do that because I think that's going to actually try to make people who are still not waking up wake up to things. So I think if he attempts the third term, a lot of the people that I'm hoping to to wake up will finally wake up and we can actually change back and get back on the right course. So I think him trying to attempt a third term would actually help us actually turn this around.
But you do know we're only 8 months into 4 years, and it's been a very active 8 months.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to run for a third term it's a direct attack on the Constitution and the core of what democracy even means. I mean, the 22nd Amendment, it exists for a reason. And if we let any president ignore that, I mean, we're just opening the door for so much chaos and could even destroy this country.
You know, there was a lot of talk about Donald Trump and the statement he made about wanting to be a dictator on day one. Does anybody at this table think he wants to be a dictator?
Yeah.
Yes? Everybody thinks he wants to be a dictator?
Like, for example, your earlier question when we were talking about foreign policy stuff, like, he's not representing us, he's representing himself. I mean, his approach to like foreign policy is driven by ego, not democracy. And it shows. You can see it everywhere he goes, the way he speaks. Instead of building strong alliances, he undermines them. And instead of standing up for human rights, he cozies up to authoritarian leaders. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty.
Does it feel like we're under an authoritarian leader right now? Does it kind of feel like that?
Feel like he's getting close.
Like, are we waiting on a moment that's already here? Or
for me, we're already here. It's kind of like a Cold War situation. It's like we've been under authoritarianism. It is them just being soft with it instead of like bold with it.
If we were in some alternate reality where Kamala Harris was the president and we were having these type of ICE raids happening under her and the things that are happening like in Texas, with the Democrats being basically pushed out, he wouldn't stand for it. He would call them out. He would be like, oh, this is so un-American. This is who you voted for. See, this is what's happening. She's allowing these mass people to go into your streets and just snatch up people and not have to show their IDs. He would be so against it.
Do you think anybody still have faith in the Supreme Court? Anybody still believe that the Supreme Court can be a stop gap to some of the stuff that we're seeing? No faith in the Supreme Court?
I think it's hard to say.
Why do you believe that, Aiden?
I do believe in the institution of the Supreme Court, but I think that this court has had some bad decisions in the past year, and that's hurt my faith a lot. But I don't know.
So you're more hopeful in the court than you are in the president.
Yeah, but it's not about the people on the court. The people on the court are failing, but I believe in the institution of the Supreme Court. I
believe in the ideal of it. Yeah,
I did believe in that. I just see that that's about to fall too. Like, the way they have systematically like put their people in place, and we've been behind on the ball on trying to do the same things, and us refusing to expand the court table. Like, we're behind. It is their long-term plan, because like we talk about like Project 2025, but it's like they've been doing this for like multiple decades. That the court is basically gone.
Speaking of being behind, right here in y'all state, Republicans are in charge. In Washington, Republicans are in charge. Democrats seem to be behind. What can the Democratic Party do, or what should the Democratic Party be doing to try to win people over? I have a philosophy that we shouldn't just be winning elections. Every day we should be out there trying to win the hearts of people. What do you think Democrats could be doing better? Or what do you think we dropped the ball at? I mean, this is unfiltered here, so you can be unfiltered.
I believe stop chasing bipartisanship like it's a prize. The prize isn't shaking hands across the room while people are losing their homes and their health care and their rights and their lives. The prize is justice. The prize is dignity. I feel like too often Democrats are spending a lot of time trying to appeal to moderates and appease conservatives than standing firmly in their values. Again, this doesn't speak for everyone. I'm just talking about collectively. But for me, it's not real leadership. It's fear. And fear doesn't protect people. I feel like Democrats as a whole need to get loud about what they stand for and not just what they're standing against. I think it's important to talk about protecting voting rights and reproductive rights and disability rights and trans rights and everything else in between. I mean, all of it. It's investing in public education and public health and public power. It means being bold about specific issues and about accessibility and equity, because I feel like overall Democrats are trying to play it safe. And I did speak to a candidate. I'm not going to name this person, but the candidate was telling me, tell me what's on your platform, what you're going to talk about, what you believe in. And this person started talking about all these different issues and then told me, well, I'm also trying to get people to vote for me. So I'm telling them this. I'm like, but is that what you believe in?
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop trying to win people over with false information and just stand your ground.
Yeah.
Tell people what you believe in and stick with it. Because what happens if you win that election and these people that voted for you because you said this and you don't do that, it's come blow up in your face.
It's gonna be terrible. You work with a lot of candidates. Like, what are you saying about this moment and about our party and
So for me, it's a little bit of what she's saying, but it's kind of also mixed. So what I'm seeing is also a inability for us as Democrats to talk to people on their level anymore. Like, we say, we want to meet people where they are. When we have the opportunity to meet people where we are, we cancel them.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't allowed to have a different opinion and grow. And so everybody is expecting is like, oh, all of us have gone to like these academic things. And so we know all this top level stuff. We forgot how to be like low grade and build up people. And so what I am seeing so much is the Democrat Party is finding ways to kick people out of the Democratic Party instead of welcoming people in. And so much of what I'm seeing, especially from different branches of our party, is cancel culture. You're not allowed to make a mistake. And every time we not allow
being
somebody
perfect, being 100% perfect.
being 100%
like a purity
perfect,
test.
purity test, all of that, and their inability to try to I'm not saying like give up your values but you got to be able to talk to people and be like and be okay that they have something different. Like, we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we don't live it. And that is the thing that I'm seeing so much from our Democrats and why we're losing people.
And I'm gonna let you get in here for a moment, but I want to ask. We spent 2024, and a big part of 2024 was to Gordon and Marquarius. A big part of 2024 was this whole idea that the Democratic Party was losing black men. That black men wasn't tied to the Democratic Party or relating to the Democratic Party. Obviously, you both voted for Kamala Harris. Did you vote for Kamala Harris because you believed in and felt proud about Kamala Harris, or did you vote for Kamala Harris because she was a Democrat? And then the folks around you. I know what conversations are like when I'm in the barbershop. There's some interesting conversations. Black men in your lives, in your family, in your friend circles that like, do you feel like there's a disconnection between them and the Democratic Party?
I think the Democrats just have to pound it, like the information, even if it's going door to door.
Yeah.
They're losing a lot because people don't have all the information.
Yeah.
And when I say people, I'm talking about black males or whatever. I think it just needs to be more information, because if I'm unregistered, give me the information that'll make me go out there to get registered and to make a difference.
Yeah.
Like, we got to understand what makes a difference. I think a lot of folks think that, well, my vote don't count anyway, but they don't understand that you just can't vote for the president. You have to vote on a local level.
All the way down the ballot.
And it trickles up. You get your people in place with the same type of values and beliefs that you have, and you get them in the right place so you can get the things that you need in your community. So I think it just has to be a little more information, almost force feeding it.
Yeah.
because it's a disconnect. Because they like, what I'm gonna vote for?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna get? I mean, if the president ain't talking about a stimulus check or something,
They don't want to hear it.
they don't.
It ain't really for them.
Yeah. I voted for Kamala because, like, I respect Kamala, and thought she deserved it. But as for like platform issues, as from the Democratic Party, like I told most people, there's nothing really in the platform issues that was like really that I felt connected to me. It was nothing that I really cared about. I voted for the Democratic candidate because I know what the Democratic candidates were going to do for us as a people. But like me personally, I did not feel really like anything that was talking to me because I'm more of a like interested in where we're going with like AI and like my businesses. And so like the people I was talking about was looking at a totally different set of issues, and they're voting Republican because of those issues, which is a different problem from the people who aren't voting because it's the black men who are going to the Republican Party, and they're doing it more because of that is their social circle now. Like their community is not the community that my parents grew up in, where it's like they grew up in the black community and it had to go through like integration. These are the people who have basically are the true integration generation, where it's like we've grown up in a different world than the people of the past have grown up in. So their views on everything is much different from when I hear my older generations talking about.
Young people. Do young people feel like they have a place in the Democratic Party?
I think in large part.
Well, let me ask you again. Do you feel like you have a place in the Democratic Party?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Now you can answer the broader question.
So I've actually been very lucky. I was able to get involved in, my county and local party pretty easily. They were very welcoming, but in general, I think a lot of people just don't know how to get involved. People are very passionate about the issues, but and part of this is my experience in two relatively rural Republican states, South Carolina and Mississippi, where the party infrastructure is weaker in a lot of places, and so people don't know how to get involved. People don't register, maybe don't know how to register, and so they just never start voting. And it's really important to activate these young voters, because if they register now, then they're going to keep voting.
All right. One final question to everyone. If you could share anything with your neighbors, what would it be about the political climate to try to get people back engaged in this process? If you could share anything with your neighbors, what would it be? We'll start here and work our way around.
I think it kind of goes back to what Mercurius was talking about earlier, where people are scared of the Democratic Party in some ways because they think it's because of the purity tests. And I think I would just say, if you get involved, there's a space for you. There's a space for you, and the party is about the people and is about making a government that works for everyone.
All right.
I think I just push participation and registration. Get involved. Only you could change your community if you give a damn about it. So if you're not registered, go get registered. Get the information. Put your people in place. That's how you can make a difference.
All right. What about you, Angel?
I would say that this isn't just politics, it's personal. That the decisions that are being made right now on healthcare and housing and education and civil rights are shaping whether we get to live with dignity or be pushed further into the margins. I would tell my neighbors that, we don't have to agree on everything, but we do have to understand that apathy is dangerous. Extremism is rising. Rights are being stripped away, especially for, marginalized groups, disabled, poor, immigrants, LGBTQ+, Black and Brown communities. And we have more power together, especially, if we are able to stand together. Again, we don't have to agree on everything. And I would say, don't wait until it knocks on your door, because by the time it does, it might be too late to stop it. So don't just sit back and watch everything around you crumbling and falling apart, and you think to yourself, this doesn't affect me, because it's a ripple effect. Everything affects everything.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess I would probably, a harder question than I thought it would be because I'm more of a question-asked person than like respond to your motivations. And so like for me, talking to my neighbor, I would try to see what their motivation is and then talk about how the party can help them accomplish whatever their motivation is. Because so far, so many of the people that I see, they don't see the thing that is connecting for them because their motivation is something that we're not even talking about. And being able to listen to people, I think is the thing is like, I'm here to listen and then help, I guess, but that would probably be the best way because I don't think we're doing enough listening anymore as a party because we got to do this, we got to do this. And like so many people's issues are not even on our radar.
All right. Well, thank y'all for participating in this conversation and another episode of Politics Unfiltered. To those of you who are watching and listening to this podcast, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this episode so that those in our community, your neighbors, can hear what ordinary, everyday people are saying about the political world, because we hear from the pundits, we hear from the politicians, but we don't get a chance to hear from the people that often. Thanks for tuning in. This is Politics Unfiltered, and I'm out.